I'm here to talk about purchasing a graphics card in one of the worst graphics card droughts since the whole crypto mining thing a few years ago, which was really annoying. So let's go ahead together as a people and take it out. So before we get started today, I'm going to say up front, if you really want the best pricing for a graphics card, it's best to wait either for the NVIDIA 30 series or the AMD RX 6000 series to come back in stock, because everything is going to be above MSRP for those cards for the performance. But let's say if you were kayaking and your graphics card got shot by a rocket launcher, first I'm going to say that you probably shouldn't be kayaking with your graphics card. Second of all, it shouldn't be near rockets. But if that happened and you absolutely have to buy a new graphics card right now, I'm just going to give you the information on where to find the best prices. And just as a reminder, if you'd like to get techie with me every Wednesday and Sunday, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell ding at the bottom. That way you get notified when I drop a video. Bam! I don't know what that was about, I'm sorry. You also have to be okay with buying refurbished to really get the best price, which in my opinion is a little bit better than buying used, because at least refurbished, the company went in and they made sure all the stuff was fixed on it. Whereas if you're buying used, then you're just buying it from somebody's house. Like some dude just had it in his house and was like, here you go. It's got all kind of cat hair and stuff in it. Before we hop into my top 3 best sites, I'm going to go over the worst sites that I found. And of course, the worst 2 would have to be Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, because it's all like user-generated content, or at least mostly. So the prices are just way jacked up. Like you're talking about like $400 or $500 above MSRP easily. Next would be like Amazon, because even though they do sell, first-party stuff, there are a lot of vendors up there that are also selling graphics cards, like the 30 series, for $200 to $300 above their value. So watch out for that. I did see like a 3060 Ti up there for $800 a few times, and I was surprised that it was in stock. And then I was like, oh wait, that's like way above MSRP, so never mind. And then eBay is probably the least bad out of all of them. Now, as far as bidding on a card, it's pretty bad right now. Every card is like selling for way higher than its value. Again, sometimes $300 or $400 above its value for last generation cards. But there are some refurbished stores up there. For instance, Zotac sells refurbished stuff directly on eBay. It just wasn't as good of a deal as the other places that I found. So eBay, out of all the sites that I just listed, is probably the least bad, because at least they do have some manufacturers that sell direct refurbished on eBay. Now, another good option is if you do happen to have a micro center close by. I have seen 3070s come back in stock pretty regularly, like every maybe like 3 to 4 days, like 3070s and 3080s. However, for me, the closest micro center is more than 3 hours away, and being that you can't purchase it online and hold it in the store, you pretty much have to get there as soon as they open. And for me, it wasn't worth driving 3 hours to get there as soon as they open to possibly hope there's no line and try to get a graphics card. So that ruled out micro center for me. But if you have a micro center in your area, that's honestly going to be the best choice. But if you don't, here are the 3 best sites to check for a refurbished last generation card. And to keep parity with performance of the 30 series, we're not looking at anything below a 2080. Now, even a 2080/2070 Super, because they're pretty much the same, that's still lower than a 3060 Ti, which is the minimum you can get performance-wise in the 30 series. 3060 Ti is around 2080 Super performance. So if you're looking for like a mid-range or lower-end card, those are difficult to find, but they're not impossible to find. So that's why I'm not focusing on those. And like I said, there haven't been any replacements for those in the current generation. So we're just looking at kind of the upper tier of the 20 series and then the highest card of the 10 series. So that's what my search was based off of when I was looking for my graphics card. So I'm going to start with one of the most popular refurbished sites, the very first one that I heard about, which is EVGA B-Stock or EVGA Midweek Madness. Now, there's actually 2 different URLs. B-Stock is just a refurbished store in general. Midweek Madness is when they put stuff from the refurbished store on sale on Wednesdays. So if you go to the Midweek Madness URL, then it's not going to be active until Wednesday. I'll just have a counter to tell you when the deals will go live. And I'll put all the links to the stuff that I mentioned in the description, the 3 sites that I'm talking about. So with EVGA, before the 3070 came out and instantly sold out, they did have some 2080 Ti's, like dual fan cards for around $700. However, since the 3070 launched and instantly sold out, along with the 3080 and of course the 3090, their prices have gone up when they've had them in stock. But that's part of the issue, is their stock hasn't been great lately. So I've maybe seen a 2080 Ti come in stock every couple of weeks, and even then it's usually around 900 for a dual fan card, which in comparison to what they're selling for on like eBay and other places, it's not a horrible deal, because a lot of them are selling well above that for dual fan cards. Not well above that, but maybe around 1,000 or 1,100, like around their original MSRP. So it's not the worst deal, but it's not the best right now. So EVGA B stock, or EVGA's refurbished sites, don't have the best deals, but it is worth checking just in case, because especially on Wednesdays, if they have a graphics card in stock, there's a good chance that it might go on sale. So I would just keep an eye on that site. So my second choice, and this one had a lot more graphics cards more recently than any other choice out of the three, was Zotac's refurbished store. So Zotac, a few weeks ago, like when I was making my purchasing decision, they actually had a 1080 Ti for around $350. And if you're okay with not having ray tracing, then that's actually a pretty good deal, considering that it's $50 less than the 3060 Ti. Granted, it's still not there performance-wise, but it's still a really good card for $350. It's over 4 years old now. It's getting close to 5 years old, but the performance is still there. And actually, one of the computers in our house is still running 1080 Ti, and it runs everything excellent, just without ray tracing. So 1080 Ti is still a great performer, and for that price, that's not a bad deal. Right now, they don't have anything. As of the recording of this video, they're all sold out, but their inventory seems to also update a lot more frequently than the other sites. So I would definitely check Zotac's refurbished store. At the time that I was looking, they also had an RTX 2080 blower style for $490 and a dual fan card for $500. Those two, I didn't feel like they were worth it. While the prices were good in comparison to what they're selling on eBay, which is like around $700 to $750, which is ridiculous, they're just not good if you think about the 30 series and the 3060 Ti being faster than a 2080 for $100 less. So I was kind of going for, performance parity. Like if I want to pay over the amount, then I at least want the same performance, or maybe even a little bit better. Then I wouldn't mind paying a little bit over, but just not anything ridiculous. So I did not go with the RTX 2080. But if you are interested in that card, they did get a few in stock. Like I said, their inventory seems to change regularly. Now, the last place I want to talk about, which technically didn't have the best selection as far as higher end cards from last generation, but they had one particular card I ended up buying my card from them, and that is actually NZXT's refurbished store. So this is going to sound weird, because I didn't even know that they sold refurbished parts. I mean, if you think of NZXT, for me personally, I think of cases, and of course they also sell pre-built computers, which I guess makes sense as to why they have a refurbished parts store. So yeah, they actually had the best deal that I could possibly find. So now let's go ahead and reveal what I ended up buying. So ultimately, I ended up selling on a 2080 Ti blower style for $650. So this is the MSI 2080 Ti Aero. For what I could tell with this card, it's probably an OEM card. Since it's a blower style and the shroud's kind of like, it's not completely ugly, but the design is like, obviously, we don't plan on people seeing this, so we're not going to spend a bunch of time and money on it. So that is the card that I got for $650. Now, there are some drawbacks to the blower style cooler. The fan is on auto, so it's at 22%, but I'm going to manually put it at 100% just so you can hear how loud it is. That jank hot. Literally. It's loud. Now, ultimately, I really wanted to get a 3070. That was kind of my target. I would have been happy with a 3060 Ti too, but when I was looking at it, unless I was able to find a 2080 Super for around like $450 to $500, then this was the best that I could do, and I couldn't find a 2080 Super for that price. Now, this card does have some advantages over the 3070. For one, it has 3 more gigabytes of RAM, and it has higher memory bandwidth. And generally speaking, it's about 4% faster in games. Some games will still perform better on the 3070. And it's about 10% faster in video rendering, which is the most important thing to me over the 3070. However, there are definitely some big cons to me spending $650 for this card. And for one, the 3070, you can get one for only $500. Now, granted, if you get a higher end model, you do get kind of close to that $630 to $650 price range. So it's not like an unreasonable price for card in that class, but even at $500, it probably still would have a better cooler than my 2080 Ti does. Also, right now, yeah, yes, technically a 2080 Ti does perform better than the 3070, at least in certain applications. But once NVIDIA enables resizable bar, which is similar to AMD Smart Access Memory that allows the GPU to access the system memory, like when it needs extra memory boost, it could outperform the 2080 Ti. And just all around, like with everything. So once that feature is enabled, and that's going to be a 30 series exclusive or Ampere exclusive feature, then the 2080 Ti could just all around be outclassed by the 3070. But this was literally the best deal that I could find right now. And even this particular card, I looked it up on eBay, and one of them is selling for around $800. Another one was selling for like over $900, even for this blower style card, which is awful. Definitely don't even pay that much for this blower style card because it's awful. And I get that a lot of people buy these for water cooling, but even from that standpoint, I still think that it's probably not worth it in comparison to the 30 series being out there. And the other thing you have to think about is with Refurbished, you really don't get that much of a warranty. Like for instance, NZXT only offers a 30-day warranty and that's it, which 30 days is kind of crap. That's literally like a return period. It's like, well, if it works for 30 days, you're good. And that's pretty much it. So generally buying Refurbished, most warranties of 30 to 90 days. But again, these 3 sites were the best sites that I could find to buy graphics cards right now. And I spent time on eBay. I spent a lot of time on eBay. I even placed bids for some cards, but they were just all selling way above what I was comfortable paying for. I already knew I was gonna have to pay over what the card was worth, but you know, you're talking about $200 or $300 over what the card was worth as far as performance. And then I even looked at Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. I checked everything pretty regularly. I even checked other PC building sites like iBuyPower and CyberPower to see if they had a refurbished section, and none of them really sold graphics cards. It's kind of weird that NZXT does, but that was literally the best card I could find. So again, Zotac, EVGA, and NZXT, I would keep an eye on those 3 sites the most. You could also check eBay. eBay is not completely horrible if you could find like a buy it now item from an actual verified manufacturer. Based off of my research and my thirstiness to get a decent value card, those are the best places to find a graphics card right now if you absolutely need one. But again, it's best just to wait. And I'm done waiting for this video to be over, so I'm ending it. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe. And always do at least 2 things.